If a global zombie outbreak began tomorrow, which countries would actually stand a chance of winning? Some have the terrain, some have the technology, some have the kind of plans you'd never expect. In this video, we're breaking down who could survive, and the answers might surprise you. Let's start with the massive disappointment that is the United States. Everyone thinks America would dominate zombies because of guns and military power, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. America is built to collapse faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. You've got over 330 million people crammed into cities with zero natural barriers between them. When one city falls, the infection spreads to the next like wildfire. New York gets hit, and within days, you've got zombie hordes marching toward every major population center from coast to coast. Here's the thing nobody wants to admit. Americans can't even agree on wearing masks during a regular pandemic. You think they're going to coordinate a national zombie response? Half the population would be arguing that zombies are fake news, while the other half is trying to pass zombie rights legislation. It would be absolute chaos. And that gun culture everyone brags about, that's going to make everything worse, not better. Sure, there are 400 million firearms in America, but here's what movies don't tell you. Trained police officers hit their targets about 30% of the time under stress. Now imagine your average gun owner who barely practices trying to headshot a moving zombie. They're gonna miss, panic, and probably shoot their neighbor instead. Now you've got human casualties on top of zombie casualties. The military won't save anyone either. Soldiers will abandon their posts immediately to protect their families because that's what humans do. State governments will fight with federal authority, creating 50 different response plans that all fail in their own special ways. Cities collapse in days. Rural areas turn into bloodbaths over canned food and bottled water. And that massive interstate highway system, that becomes a 47,000-mile zombie conveyor belt connecting every infection point in the country. America fails spectacularly because it's too big, too divided, and too confident in systems that fall apart the moment real pressure hits. Now let's talk about North Korea, which sounds insane, but actually makes some sense. This place might do surprisingly well, and it's entirely because they're already living in an authoritarian nightmare. The DMZ has over 1 million landmines, razor wire everywhere, and soldiers who already have orders to shoot anything that moves. They don't need to implement martial law because they never stopped having it. The entire population is conditioned to follow orders without question, report suspicious behavior, and survive on practically nothing. When the government says stay inside or get shot, North Koreans know that's not a suggestion. But here's why North Korea still fails in the end. They can barely feed their people now. Add zombies to the mix and you've got mass starvation within weeks. They're completely dependent on foreign aid that disappears the second zombies appear. Their military might be huge, but they're using equipment from decades ago. Plus, their information control means citizens won't even know about zombies until they're literally getting eaten. The government would probably claim zombies are American propaganda while Pyongyang burns. They'd last longer than most through pure totalitarian control. But eventually, resource scarcity kills them just like it's killing them now, except with more zombies. Madagascar is the wild card that nobody expects. This island nation sits off the coast of Africa, like that player in Plague Inc., who always closes borders first and ruins your perfect run. There are 250 miles of shark-filled ocean between Madagascar and mainland Africa. Zombies aren't swimming that. The population of 25 million is big enough to maintain civilization, but spread out enough to prevent rapid infection. They've got rainforests, deserts, and diverse ecosystems providing multiple food sources. They even have experience dealing with actual plague outbreaks, which gives them a disease response infrastructure that most countries lack. The problems are infrastructure and poverty. Madagascar is one of the poorest countries in the world. Madagascar beats zombies by accident, not design. Finland is basically tutorial mode for zombie survival. Low population density, brutal climate, which means zombies have to work hard to find meals. Finnish winters turn zombies into popsicles, giving humans 6 months every year to clean up frozen infected. Everyone has mandatory military service, creating a regional defensive buffer. Finnish culture emphasizes self-reliance and emergency preparedness. These people have basement bunkers from World War II and think that's perfectly normal behavior. Finland drops from perfect to just great because of connectivity issues. They share land borders with Russia and Sweden, meaning infection walks right in. Their economy depends on international trade, which evaporates immediately. Those same forests that provide cover make coordinated military response difficult. Finland wins through attrition, letting winter do most of the work while maintaining defensive positions. It's not glorious, but it works. Iran makes the list because mountains and deserts are kryptonite to zombies, and Iran is basically just mountains and deserts with a government sandwiched between them. The country is surrounded by mountain ranges, creating natural defensive barriers. Central desert regions would turn zombies into jerky within days. The population is distributed across various elevations and climate zones, preventing a single-point outbreak failure. Iran's experience with international sanctions created domestic production capabilities and resource management skills valuable during the global collapse. Their military is substantial, with revolutionary guards who already operate as paranoid defensive units. Iran stays mid-tier because of internal vulnerabilities. Tehran alone has 9 million people packed into a valley. One infection and it becomes a zombie factory. The government structure is fractured between religious and military leadership, guaranteeing power struggles during a crisis. Water scarcity is already a problem without zombies contaminating supplies. Regional ethnic tensions explode into conflict when central authority weakens. Iran is surrounded by unstable countries that collapse first, sending refugee waves carrying infection. They hold mountain fortresses and desert outposts but lose population centers. Iran beats zombies in the wilderness but loses in cities, resulting in victory that means abandoning civilization. New Zealand is the premium subscription to zombie survival. Expensive to get to, but worth every penny once you're there. The advantage is isolation, so extreme zombies would need to book flights in advance. They're 1,200 miles from Australia, surrounded by oceans. Zombies can't cross without becoming shark food. The population of 4.6 million is small enough to manage, but large enough to maintain civilization. Mixed geography provides fertile farmland and mountains for defense. They even have specialized telecom satellite networks that the Zombie Research Society officially certified as zombie resilient. New Zealand reaches top tier but isn't perfect. The isolation advantage disappears if even one infected person arrives by boat or plane. A small population means limited military capacity and no ability to absorb casualties. They depend on imports for fuel, medicine, and technology that cease immediately. Islands are small enough that if infection establishes, there's nowhere to retreat. Plus, everyone knows New Zealand is the best apocalypse destination, so they'd be swamped with wealthy refugees and private jets before they could close borders. New Zealand wins through perfect geography and competent governance, but only if they're ruthless about border control from day one. The United Kingdom proves being an island is cheat mode for zombie survival, especially with centuries of experience repelling European invasions. British superiority comes from perfect size, big enough for resources, small enough for coordination. The military reportedly took over Scotland quickly and locked things down according to zombie fiction, making sense given UK's functional government and clear command structure. The Channel stops zombies better than it stopped Brexit debates. British infrastructure is old but robust. Designed for disasters because they've had every disaster. Population has that keep calm mentality that's annoying in peacetime but perfect for apocalypse. Scotland's Highlands provide perfect retreat territory. UK reaches top tier through competence rather than perfection. Dense population in England means initial outbreaks would be devastating. The island depends on imports for food and fuel that stop immediately. Class structure might persist even during zombies, with elites expecting special treatment while London burns. Weather is miserable without apocalypse adding to it. Yet Britain wins because they implement martial law immediately, shoot zombies efficiently with limited guns, and maintain order through sheer bureaucratic momentum. UK beat zombies the same way they built an empire, through organizational superiority and refusing to admit things are going badly. The Scottish Highlands deserve special mention as the best regional survival zone, where zombies would be just another thing trying to kill you after midges and weather. Highlands have everything: extremely low population density, mountainous terrain that exhausts zombies, freshwater locks for resources, and enough whiskey to make apocalypse bearable. Region is basically empty, with more sheep than people, and infrastructure designed for isolation. Highland culture emphasizes self-reliance because Amazon doesn't deliver there, even now. Terrain provides infinite defensive positions and retreat options. Castles everywhere provide ready-made fortifications that repelled English invasions for centuries. Highlands rank lower only because they're not a country, but a region dependent on broader UK response. Limited agricultural capacity means food dependency. Weather is genuinely lethal without proper shelter. Medical facilities are minimal and far apart. Population too small and scattered for rebuilding civilization. But for pure survival, Highlands are unmatched. Zombies would literally get lost, fall off cliffs, and drown in locks before reaching anyone. Highlands don't beat zombies so much as outlast them through sheer inhospitableness to anything living or dead.